The pickup games featured roughly 14 regulars. They ranged from 35 to 45, a group of middle-aged hoopers dribbling and defending in an attempt to ward off expanding midsections, achy backs and father time. They tipped off on Wednesday nights in suburban San Diego, descending to the red court with white lines and black keys and a view of rolling hills. They played 5-on-5, full court, under the lights. During the day, the participants worked as high school football and basketball coaches, helped run a college athletic department, sold insurance, filled out tax returns and operated a sticky chicken food truck. One man connected all of them, 2 years into his easy, comfortable, borderline idyllic retirement, the one that followed a lucrative, celebrated and regularly painful 13-year career. He had retired late, at least for his profession, and retired early, in his mid-30s. He did not struggle with the transition, nor lament what he left behind. Loved every second of it, he says. He went to church, slept in, made breakfast for the family, packed school lunches, spent time he could hardly find before with his wife and 4 children, ages 8 to 14. When the kids went to school, he hit the gym, not as hard as he used to, but still lifting every day and running twice a week. He dabbled in coaching, too, becoming an assistant for a 12 and under youth football team while eyeing a high school gig. He looked forward to watching NFL games, but loosely, as a fan. He always made sure to catch the 2 teams he knew the best and rooted for the hardest, the Ravens and Rams. And, as part of his new life, his new routine, he ferried the children all over San Diego, to school and sporting events and social endeavors. He drove them so often, to so many places, that he began to refer to that exercise as the Weddle taxi service. Because he was busy, coaching, hooping, driving, and fulfilled, he hardly paid attention to the endless news generator that is the NFL. Because he didn't look at the game he loved beyond the games he watched, he didn't notice the defensive conundrum the latter part of the 2021 season presented to the Rams. Despite regular contact with Sean McVay and others, he wasn't aware that their depth at safety was depleted. He didn't see that LA had lost team captain Jordan Fuller for the remainder of the season to a right ankle injury in Week 18, or that Taylor Rapp had entered concussion protocol as the postseason began. In fact, the call that changed his life, altered the NFL postseason and helped the Rams return to the Super Bowl came as a complete surprise. That afternoon in January he visited Rancho Bernardo High School, where a close friend planned to retire as the school's football coach in the next few years. He wanted the position and met with the athletic director for 2 hours. It was awesome, he says. As he left the meeting, he considered the possibilities. His children would be older when the job opened. The gig appealed to him and the combination would provide a perfect transition into his next life. His phone buzzed right then. It was Raheem Morris, a friend, mentor and the Rams' defensive coordinator. They hadn't spoken in a few months. When he didn't pick up, Morris sent a text. "Hey, Dub, give me a call when you get this." He couldn't figure out the urgency. Maybe Morris wanted to ask him about the team's next opponent, the Cardinals. But he hadn't watched them in recent weeks and knew little about their season. And this was 6 days before the wild-card playoff game. The scouting would mostly have been completed by then. At 3:30 p.m., he returned the call. After some small talk, the usual pleasantries, Morris got right to the point. "Eric Weddle," he said, "you're not fat and out of shape, are you?" "Of course not," Weddle answered. "You know that's not how I am, you know that," he said. "I figured that, I just wanted to ask," Morris said. "So, listen here, we've got this crazy idea." The purpose of the call clicked for Weddle. Morris didn't want his analysis of the Cardinals' offense. He wanted Weddle, an NFL safety for 13 seasons, part of the Rams family even in retirement and the host of the Sticky Chicken Guy for informal basketball games, to return to the game he left, and to the last team he had played for, immediately. Morris explained his depth conundrum. "I'm just throwing this idea out," he said. "I was wondering, could you give us 10 to 15 snaps on Monday night?" Weddle blurted out his response, all but shouting the first thought that entered his mind. "Are you insane right now?" he asked. "I'm literally the best option you guys can think of." "Yes," Morris told him. "We're serious. We started discussing this a few weeks ago. Think about it." A Rams source confirmed that the team first discussed adding Weddle as an emergency option while confronting a COVID-19 outbreak in mid-December. Weddle was unaware of those discussions. Weddle did consider it. On one hand, he wasn't in football shape. He no longer weighed 195 pounds, his playing weight for 6 Pro Bowl campaigns and an illustrious career with the Chargers, Ravens, and Rams. Plus, the defensive system Morris had installed after being named the defensive coordinator last winter was different from the one that Weddle played in during his final season, 2019. But Morris had made some good points. Weddle was smart, only 37 and in shape. Weddle kept thinking, all afternoon and into the evening. Could he physically handle the task? Would it diminish the legacy he created? And, if it did, could he handle going out there, flopping, being a bust and people laughing, flopping, being a